2015 today. Did you know that?
Just
it is.
today?
Just today. Turning 2015. This morning, my son was trying to figure out while we were walking up to his. I kind of walk him up to school. I don't walk him to school. I walk him up to school. So we park and we walk away. That's just the way it works.
We're in Texas.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of walking in Texas. And after you park first and then you walk. And he was trying to figure out how old he would be, because he's focused on being 18 years old now. That's his new thing. Because I don't know what he thinks is going to happen at 18. It's not voting that he's thinking about. I don't know what it is.
Something magical.
And we're going to be starting a show. So I think you know what? That must be what it is. Because I told him when he turned 18, he would get the money from his show. Because I was talking to him about how he was going to get paid. Because he wants to buy all these Lego minifigures that he has. And in order for him to get paid, because we're going to have sponsors on his show. And I think, can I mention who they were? Confirmed? Squarespace.
Yes,
confirmed they're going to be sponsoring his show. You'll have to figure out the details of that.
Yeah.
He said, quote, we'll back him.
Yep.
So I'm looking forward to that. Hattie Cook sitting opposite me here in the 5x5 studios, Austin, Texas. And anyway, he thought that it would be fair that he gets paid something now in advance, even before he's done the first show. He thinks he should get paid.
Oh,
even
he's
before
thinking more of a flat rate kind of situation.
Well, I offered him his first idea was he wanted to get $20 per show. Now,
it's a bit steep.
It's a bit steep. We don't know what the audience is going to be. We don't know anything about it. We don't know. He doesn't have much of a Twitter following.
Yeah.
He's kind of coming to the table with,
doesn't
as
bring
an
much.
Unproven talent. So I wasn't sure about that. So I said, no, how about $5? And he said, no, $10.
Oh,
and I said,
negotiator.
I said, how about $5 or you get paid nothing? And he said, okay, well, $5. He says, actually, $5 works for me.
He knows when to give up.
So I've been talking to him about what the title of his show could be, and he said, Cash's Corner is currently, and I've been tweeting when I ask people what they want to ask him each week, because I'm trying to get questions queued up so I can say, Frank from Wyoming asked, so the hashtag we're using is questions for cash.
I like that.
You get it?
Yeah.
Questions for cash. So he'll be starting a show up sometime either this week or this weekend. Also, last week, I'm very happy to announce that we did an episode of The Frequency, your show.
Yep.
So that came back. So The Frequency is back, and you're going to be sticking to it because we're doubling down with content.
Doubling down with content, and got awesome show already lined up for you.
Oh, do you?
Yep.
Oh, cool. So you've been...
No hints.
No hints. Because there's actually nothing lined up? Or
No, there's some stuff lined up.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll stay out of it. But that's Hattie's show. That's back at 5x5.tv/frequency. Please put that in the show notes, Hattie. Show notes are going to be at 5x5.tv/dbh/18. 18.
I think it is 18.
I think it is 18. So you can go there and find the show notes right there. And that's the place to go for all the other stuff we did on 5x5. I did a slight refresh of the website. I got rid of the ugly sort of mid-late 2000s kind of 2008, 2009 style, like background gradient textured stuff. That's gone. And I refreshed the fonts and I cleaned some things up. It's a much slicker, faster loading site now. Big excitement. And I also did an episode of the podcast method. That was episode number 8 of the podcast method, long awaited, and that's back on track every week. Doubling down on content. I guest hosted or re-hosted Amplified with Jim Dalrymple, which was great fun to be back on there, and maybe I'll do that more often if he wants. And then we did Grit, which was wonderful. A homecoming, if you will, because on this show, I'm nice, Dan.
Mm-hmm.
And on that show, I'm also nice, but I'm fairly angry.
Nice but angry. You're not mean to anyone, but you're angry just in general.
Yeah. And Shloki stopped by in the studio, and he's committed to coming by every single week on Fridays to be on that show. So I'm excited about that as well. So that's all the sort of inventory type work that I have. I also had did you complete your homework assignment? The homework assignment I gave you Friday afternoon. Is that complete?
The Professors?
No.
I already finished that.
No, not that. The homework assignment that you were given
What
to
was
complete
my-
over the weekend.
What was my homework assignment?
Your
again?
homework assignment was to watch the movie Interstellar.
I did complete that assignment, yes.
Okay, so at the end of today's show, at the very end of the show, after we do all the news and everything else, we're going to talk a little bit about Interstellar. Not a full movie review, just a discussion.
But there might be spoilers.
There will, and that's why we'll save it for the end of the show. Because that way,
Exactly.
clear off all
In
other
the
business.
show.
Clear off all the other business.
Business.
Business. And then jump in and talk about that a little bit. So that's something that, because I have some opinions, strong opinions
I know you do.
about that movie. Apparently Roderick on the line also did not like it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I liked it.
You liked it a lot. I'm lukewarm on it. We'll talk about that. And do you know if it's allowed to give someone else access to your iTunes? Like, for example, if I had bought the movie Interstellar on my iTunes and I had assigned you to watch it and I said, I require you to watch it. And you said, well, give me access to your iTunes library and I will watch it because I don't want to pay for it. And then I said, okay, and gave you my login to that. Is that allowed?
I don't know if it's allowed, but
Then it's a good thing we didn't do that.
right.
Right. Very good thing we didn't do that. Yeah, I'm glad we didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
We have an amazing week lined up for you this week. Let me just tell you, one guest that I know that I'm thrilled to have. I can't even believe it.
Can't even keep
I
it
can't even
inside.
believe it. Do I sound like I'm getting a cold? Because MJ has a cold.
I keep talking.
Well, I've been talking to you all day. That's all I do.
I don't
nonstop.
think that you sound like
I
you
feel
have a
like I'm
cold.
getting something.
Coming down with something.
Well, not like I don't feel sick in my body,
Mm-hmm.
but my throat feels something.
I think you're just thinking about it too much.
Well, she has some kind of like a cold. She got sick. And she's
Poor
just
thing.
coughing and coughing and coughing. It's not a flu. That's all I care about.
Good.
Yeah, that's all I care about. Anyway, some amazing guests coming up this week. I know one of them, I don't even know why he's doing this. You ever heard that term slumming it? Like when you go down to Dirty Six and you go
You
to like
slum
a
it. Yeah, that makes
crummy
sense.
bar and
Right.
like, what am I even doing here? I
And
should
you're like,
be.
I'm eating McDonald's for dinner.
Yeah,
Who's slumming it?
yeah. Or
Yeah.
like going to Rudy's Barbecue instead of Mickelwait's.
Right. Slumming it.
Slumming it.
Uh-huh.
I feel like that's what Jeffrey Veen is going to be doing when he's here tomorrow.
I'm excited.
But thanks to him for doing it. Jeffrey Veen, he's sort of like the creator of the internet when you think about it. You know what I should do? I should dig. I have
Introduce him.
his book.
Uh-huh.
I should see if I have that, because when we're kind of moving back and forth between the offices, I packed it up with some of my ancient relics of a bygone era, like Jeffrey Zeldman's book. And I laid it so that Jeffrey's face was like this, Jeffrey Zeldman's book, and Jeffrey Veen's face was like this, like they're kissing
Aw.
in a box forever, like a time capsule.
Is this the book that you're talking about?
Yes. Art and Science of Web Design, I believe, is the book you're referring to.
I will put that.
Anyway, Jeff Veen, incredibly smart, one of the smartest people I've ever been lucky enough to meet and know, will be on the show tomorrow. Also on the show, is it tomorrow? Who else is on tomorrow?
Liz Furl and
Liz
Sarah
Furl.
Stewart from the Getting There podcast.
From the Getting There podcast on 5x5. Who else is here? We've got, is Dr. Chapman coming on this week?
Schaffner.
Schaffner.
He is on Wednesday.
Schaffner is not Chapman. Those are both
Yeah,
bug
but they're
focused.
friends.
They're the same part. Let's be honest. If you're studying, weird digestive stuff,
Yeah.
how different can you be as a person? You know
I
what I'm
don't
saying?
know.
He doesn't
Pretty
listen to the
different.
show, so we could say whatever we want.
I think they're always in the chat room.
Neither of them are ever in the chat room. Neither of them listen to the show. I don't even know why they're going to be on it, except because I've got concerns.
And then Friday, we have Dave and Aaron from Homework.
Oh, the homework folks.
Homework folks.
And we've got some other great folks that'll be coming up. Also, we're planning a couple of other things. On May the 1st, that is when The Avengers 2 comes out.
Mm-hmm.
And we're planning a big Austin meetup where we're going to go and we're going to get some food or something, and then we're going to go see the movie on the 1st when it comes out.
I'm excited.
I'm very excited about that. That'll be fun. So you heard the announcement already here.
Lots
There'll be
of,
lots of giveaways. We just got to get a sponsor for that. How do you
I
get
feel
on
like
it?
a lot of things are happening
May
in
the
the
1st.
first, well, no, in April, just in the beginning of April.
Well, like your jury duty.
Not anymore.
What happened?
Hopefully.
What's the story?
Because I am no longer a resident.
Hattie told me this morning she was very concerned
Yeah.
She came in and said, I've been
It's
called
like,
for
it's-
jury
I'm
duty.
going to be gone for Dan Benjamin hour.
Yeah. And everything
And
else
everything
for
else.
weeks at a time. Merlin was gone for weeks.
I don't think I would be
When he
gone
had
for
jury duty.
weeks, but
But you're getting out of it, but not because you want to avoid your civic duty, but because
maybe because I want to.
but because it was sent to your parents' home.
Yes, which they're
where you
in a
haven't
different
lived for
county.
years and
Right.
years and years. But they're in a different county.
Yep, and yeah, and it was far. But I'm sure I'll be called again in Travis, so it's not like
you'll get called
it'll
in
come
Travis
back
County.
around.
But they live in a faraway county by the zoo,
Past the zoo.
past the zoo. So I'm relieved that you won't be missing the show. I do realize it's a big commitment for you to be here on the show.
Right.
So
See,
thanks for
I've got
being here.
jury duty
Yeah.
that I have to go to.
I also updated and released. Well, I shouldn't say updated. I only made one change to it, but it's not significant. The 5x5 Mac OS X app that lets you stream the shows live and listen live from your menu bar, that is back in the App Store. I had let our membership lapse.
Oh.
The $99 Mac membership that you have to pay to keep your apps in the App Store. I renewed it, and it is back in the App Store. Hooray. Go download it. It's free. And it's a little menu bar that lets you listen to this and all the other shows on 5x5. And Hattie has just turned her computer screen around to me, and it said on the screen, video looks out of sync. I would like to point out that what you see there on that screen will always be out of sync to what's actually going on.
Really?
Yes, and it has been for all of our other 17 episodes that we've done. But thank you for...
Really?
Yes. But thank
Every
you,
episode?
everyone. But thank
guess
you,
I-
thank you for noticing and bringing it to my attention.
I had my coffee and I had my eggs today and
This is the
a
first-
good lunch, and now I'm awake
the
and
first
alive,
time that you've noticed
and now
it.
I've noticed it.
Well, thank you for... I do appreciate you telling me because... but yes.
And I didn't interrupt the entire show to do it.
Yes, you didn't take over like you do on Grit.
Right?
So we do have some good news to tell you guys about. Some interesting developments happening over the weekend. The first of which is I've been watching the downloads of this show like a hawk, and I know each of you that's downloading the show. I know every single person that's downloading the show, and so I'd like to thank each of you for doing that, and also for rating the show on iTunes. I really do appreciate you doing that as well. Please keep doing that. By the way, that is the best way to help new listeners find out about the show and to keep it going. So if you haven't rated it, go rate it. If you don't subscribe in iTunes, subscribe. I don't know how like Overcast works as far as rating. I don't know how the little suggestions from Twitter thing works. But, you know, for now, iTunes is the best way to rate it. So if you like the show and you enjoy it, please just rate it. It's a big favor you can do, and I thank you for that. And let's do some news. Jay-Z. Do you know Jay-Z?
Not personally, but I wish I did.
He's relaunching his new Tidal music service today, and he's got Madonna, Kanye, and Daft Punk exclusives.
Oh man.
If you remember, he acquired Tidal not that long ago, and he's been sending out invites for a press conference that is being held in about 30 minutes from now in real time. And I don't believe he's going to be periscoping or meerkatting it. We didn't talk about our Mighty Fine Burger Periscope thing, did we? On the air, or did we?
No, we did, and we put
Okay.
it in the show notes.
But he is going to be announcing a commitment to a new direction for the music industry from both a creative and business perspective. This is one of those weird things to me. Dre, famously with Beats, years ago coming out with this, and now all of a sudden, Jay-Z, it almost seems like a Me Too kind of thing. I'm not sure if that's just me being naive about it and thinking that anyone who enters into this space is going to be competitive, and it's a very competitive space in general, the streaming music, the streaming entertainment space. Spotify, Beats, Pandora, I guess, is in that space. Why Tidal? Why spend so much on Tidal? I don't know. There are some more details here. It says over the weekend, the Swedish blog Break It reported that citing sources close to the deal, the Tidal's plan is going to be to ink first window deals, as they're called in the industry, with artists, where they're going to get the first release of tracks from big name artists before any other digital streaming services. And as you all know, everything is essentially streaming now. You don't really see people lining up to buy the album at their local Specs Music.
I miss that.
Or what is it here? Peaches? You ever been to a Peaches?
No.
We had Peaches and we had Specs in Florida.
We have...
You ever heard of a Peaches?
Never.
Specs?
No. Only the liquor
Specs.
store.
I know you spent a lot of time in that store.
Lots.
Every day you're like, go to run to Specs.
No, but Waterloo
Don't
Records.
feel myself without my vodka.
Waterloo Records, and
Yeah.
then the other one was... There was like a discount record store.
Yeah.
Discount record store. And I can't remember the name of it, but it was down the street and it was awesome.
Well, we used to wait in line like when the new Smashing Pumpkins or Nirvana album was going to come out and start selling at midnight. The Specs Music or Peaches would stay open, and you'd be the first to get in there, get your copy. But Madonna, Kanye, Beyonce, surprised that she's involved, Calvin Harris, Arcade Fire, are going to be all in there coming out with stuff. Taylor Swift. So, I guess that's how they're going to compete, and that there's going to be a service where you can pay $9.99 a month and you'll get access to all of these things. And that's so weird because, these streaming services are now essentially what record labels were in a way years ago. You have an artist who's going to release content wherever they're producing the content, but how soon do we even need record labels if streaming services like this really take over?
Well, and remember Taylor Swift pulled all of her music off of other
and
streaming
now
services,
it's on Tidal.
so now it's on this.
Just on Tidal.
Do you think maybe she pulled all of it down because this was in the works?
Yes, I think that's very insightful. I would agree. That's most likely why they did it. Amazon is launching something they're calling home services to sell everything from an oil change to piano lessons. And they're showing here in this picture on The Verge of sort of a dirty mechanic underneath a car changing oil.
It looks like his pictures from like the 1940s.
Yeah, it's supposed to look, I think it's brand new. But they believe that there are a lot of things that people could use help, in their words, assembling, installing, or learning to enjoy. Quote, we have 85 million Amazon customers who have shopped for products this past year that often require a service afterwards. Things like TVs, toilets, and sinks. So home services, customers can shop for professional help. It has 700 different services. Here's the quote, from the ordinary to the esoteric, everything from installing a garbage disposal to renting you a goat herd that will graze away the unwanted vegetation on your property. And they have coverage varying from high to none across the United States. And they've released a little map.
It's a cute map.
If you're watching this in video, you're already seeing it. But if you'd like, I'd love for you to tune in on the video. You can go to danbenjamin.com/dbh/18 or if you like 5x5's URL better, 5x5.tv/dbh/18, same place. Then you can watch the video right there. Or you can find us on YouTube. Anyway, these home services, of course, high coverage is in San Francisco, Los Angeles, and New York. Here in Texas, we have medium to light coverage. We should try to hire one of these services.
Yeah.
What kind of service do you think we need here in our work home?
Is there like a list of services?
Yes, there is a list.
They could patch the holes that are back
Patching the holes. So would you say that that's general repair and odd jobs?
Yes.
Okay. I've clicked that link. Treadmill assembly.
Ooh.
How much would you pay? Don't look up at the screen. Don't look at the screen. How much would you pay for treadmill assembly?
$30.
It is $120 to $149. How about to assemble a desk? How much would you pay for that?
What kind of a desk?
It
Just a regular
says,
desk?
It doesn't say.
$30.
$135 to $140. These are not cheap, obviously.
But then again, I really like assembling things
Yeah,
anyway,
you
so
took
I'm
apart,
kind of...
You took apart my G4 Cube, completely disassembled it, and there's no repair. No chance to repair.
You told me to.
I did not tell you to.
You
You
did.
asked if you could, and I said, yeah, right, and then you did.
No, you said, yeah, do it.
Most of these things look like assemblies, like building things.
Is it assembly of things that you've bought on Amazon?
Unfortunately for you, Hattie, I'm sorry to say the cat tree assembly service is not available in this zip code.
I don't need no help with that.
Okay. I mean, I think this is kind of cool. I'm not sure that there's a huge need for this, but cool, neat. Let me do our first spot. It's a company called Wealthfront. You know, they've been flying around the podcasting world. I've heard their spots, and now they've decided to sponsor the greatest show in the history of shows.
In the entire history.
Wealthfront. It's an automated investment service that makes it easy to invest your money the right way. Here's, a lot of the time what you're going to do is you're going to say, look, I've got some money. I've come into some money. Maybe your great aunt has passed and left you some cash. And you're like, well, what do I do with that? Of course I could spend it, but I'm no fool. I'm going to invest it. But how do I invest it? Just sink it all into Apple? Is that the right thing to do? Maybe. But if you don't want to do just that, you want to build a real portfolio, chances are you're not really sure how to begin. Well, you can use Wealthfront and they will help you. In fact, they made a special URL to go to. It's wealthfront.com/5x5. And instead of having to go and find somebody and sitting down and meeting with them and spending a few hours to talk about your finances or on the phone or whatever, you skip all of that. You sign up online and in 5 minutes, you answer a series of basic questions. It's going to help them determine your risk tolerance. That's the main question.
Risk tolerance.
We were talking about this earlier today.
Yep.
Your risk tolerance as someone in their 20s is probably going to be, you can tolerate much more risk than somebody who's in their 60s.
Exactly.
Ready to retire or already retired. Well, they ask you a series of questions that lets you know also how comfortable. Maybe you in your 20s, you're more conservative when it comes to spending than somebody else in their 20s. These questions help you get past all that. And they charge only 0.25% per year. That's like a quarter the cost of traditional investments advisors. You don't have to worry about trading commissions. They don't have hidden costs. They don't nickel and dime you like so many other places will. And they invest your money based on that tolerance level, which you can go in and change. They manage over $2 billion in client assets. They've grown over 20 times in the last 2 years. And 5x5 listeners can get their first $10,000 managed for free. That's a lot. When they go to wealthfront.com/5x5. Again, wealthfront.com/5x5. Go check them out. Support the show. Support 5x5 as a whole. And Hattie, here I see on this page, it says there's a disclaimer I have to read.
Yes, you must read it.
But at the bottom, it says this disclaimer must, with it's in italics and underlined, must be read on air. But they said that I can rush through it as long as it's read.
Right, you can do the announcer disclaimer voice.
Wealthfront Inc. is an SEC-registered investment advisor. Brokerage services are offered through Wealthfront Brokerage Corporation, member FINRA and SIPC. This is not a solicitation to buy or sell certain securities. Investing in securities involve risk, and there is possibility of losing money. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. Please read wealthfront.com to read the full disclosure.
Boom.
I'm going to get better at that. By the end of the week, I'll have it down.
I want it memorized.
Oh, I'll memorize.
Okay.
Oh. I'll memorize it. So, thank you to Wealthfront for sponsoring this episode. Amazon Home. In a more sort of serious note, Tim Cook has come out with a big opinion and statement in the Washington Post. He says pro-discrimination, quote, religious freedom laws are dangerous. And he has a very strong opinion, and he's sharing it in this opinionated post, where he's talking about legislation that's been introduced that he says allows people to discriminate against their neighbors. And here's what he writes. Some, such as the bill enacted in Indiana last week that drew a national outcry, and one passed in Arkansas, says individuals can cite their personal religious beliefs to refuse service to a customer or resist a state non-discrimination law. So in other words, if there is a state law against discrimination, but you have personal religious beliefs, then they're saying that you can resist that non-discrimination law. Now, I have not read this. I'm not super familiar with this, much beyond the extent of this article. And that's something I've been spending a little bit of time doing to get more up to date with it. But listen here, we've got some bad news about Texas, Hattie.
Uh-oh.
Legislation is from his article. Legislation being considered in Texas would strip the salaries and pensions of clerks who issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples, even if the Supreme Court strikes down Texas's marriage ban later this year. In total, there are nearly 100 bills designed to enshrine discrimination in state law. This is a great piece. And he talks about religious freedom and the importance it played in his life growing up. And he also addresses discrimination. He says this isn't a political issue. It isn't a religious issue. This is about how we treat each other as human beings. Opposing discrimination takes courage. With the lives and dignity of so many people at stake, it's time for us all to be courageous. So this is a very interesting article. I recommend everyone read this and form your own opinion about what the laws are and what the states are. But I really, what's interesting to me isn't so much the article. It isn't so much the contents of the article. It's the fact that the article exists at all. The fact that he is so outspoken about this. And it's, do you think about being the CEO of what is arguably the most, certainly the most successful company on the planet, the richest company on the planet. But it's interesting how he is exercising his influence and his notoriety. It's in things that are very close to his own heart, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And he's at a point where I doubt there are a whole lot of other companies or business people or whoever who would be like, well, screw Apple because what Tim Cook said. He's in a position where he can really use that
platform.
Mm-hmm. Very fascinating. Very fascinating for him to do this, and should be applauded for, and I think it's great.
Me too.
Less serious news. Jared Leto is going to be the Joker. Did you know this?
I did not know this until today when you said it.
Zack Snyder, who I know you do know, Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice arrives in theaters next year. And the first time it's sort of setting up the Justice League movies, not to be outdone by Marvel, DC, of course, making lots of their movies, none of which have been good since the original Superman or the Nolan Batman films. And of course, I was a big fan of the Michael Keaton, Tim Burton Batman movies.
I don't think that I've seen those.
No.
I want to.
Yeah.
I love
I don't
Tim
know.
Burton.
I mean, Jack Nicholson's in there.
That's cool.
Yeah. But anyway, your phone's going off, Hattie.
It's on vibrate.
Okay. But Jared Leto is going to be the Joker in the Suicide Squad movies. The Joker. He's going to be I think he's going to be a great Joker.
Yeah, I agree.
I think he's going to be amazing.
I'm excited to see that.
And apparently, so he cut off, what did you call that thing that he had? What is that thing?
He has very long hair, and he frequently wears it in a man bun.
What is that?
When a man wears his hair up in a bun. It's a very
title,
popular
man bun. Title. Title.
Well, hopefully someone else will do that.
Oh, you're trusting. I'll write it down then.
Yes, they frequently, if they have long hair, they'll wear it up in a bun, frequently paired with a beard.
Yeah, I don't. Anyway, it seems like he has cut this off, and he's going to be the Joker. What kind of Joker will he be?
Right.
I think he's an amazing actor after watching him in Dallas Buyers Club and
he
his
transforms,
total
man.
transformation. Total transformation.
And in every movie, he's different, and also he doesn't really seem to age.
Right. He looked very young.
He looks the same in
every
movie in the sense of Jared Leto looks the same, but not his characters are completely different.
iPad Pro dummy has been found, pointing toward dual lightning ports or USB-C port. We don't know. The pictures being posted in many places online, but of course over at a friend of the show, Mac Rumors, an article by Julie Clover showing these pictures. What is the port on the side? We don't know. There was a previously leaked iPad Pro case, this is the bigger iPad, that had an opening on the left side believed to be for a SIM card tray, but now we don't know what that's going to be. I'll let the speculation begin. Is it going to be a lightning port, a second lightning port? Is it USB-C? Just today I was talking to Andy Anatko, and he was saying he does not think that there is going to be a hybrid iPad / MacBook Pro type of device out there. I agree with him, but will there be a bigger iPad? Maybe. I'm suspect, but we'll see if these are real or not. Of course, we just got to wait. And while we're in the sort of the rumor space, there are leaked images showing a maybe first look at the purported rear shell of the iPhone 6C. Do you remember? Do you remember the 5C? Yeah, I know you would remember that because you like that.
It was cute.
Well,
I don't think that I would get it, but I don't know. It just seems like if I was a parent and I had a kid like
you get it for
in
your
middle
kid.
school or high school, there was like, I want my first cell phone. I'd be like, well, I want them. If I wanted them to have an iPhone, I would
You
be
would
like,
get that.
5C, pick out your color.
My brother-in-law has a 5C, and so now maybe we're going to get a 6C. Those have been rumored for a while, and the images here, they say, you know what? Two notable differences between the 5C. It's going to have a pill-shaped LED flash cutout and 2 rows of speaker grills on the bottom. And it will be in the 4-inch range, they think. And if you're interested in these kinds of pictures, you can go to Mac Rumors, but we've got the link for you again in the show notes. We don't know if it will have the Touch ID, but I'm assuming that it will have the Touch ID. Everything they do should have the Touch ID. That's the killer feature.
Did the 5C have the Touch ID?
It did not.
Okay, that was
5S.
the difference. Oh, right, because it was the 5 didn't have it, and then they came out with the 5S and the and the C.
Apple Watch. This is a weird thing. We are planning on we're going to be sort of stalking people around randomly at the Domain in Austin on the 24th when the watch becomes available. I'm still on the fence about if I should get one of these things or not. Because like in my mind, now that I've unlocked the idea that maybe I'm going to spend $500 or $600 on a watch, these watches that I've been wanting for years and years and years, which are mechanical watches, I'm like, well, I think I'm going to get one of them,
Right.
Namos is the one I really want. Those things are like $1,200. That's too much. But now I'm like, if I, like in my mind, I've unlocked the idea that I'm spending $600 on a watch. Now I don't want the Apple Watch. I want like a real watch that I can hand down to my son when he graduates high school or college.
A lasting watch.
Title. As the launch approaches, though, details have been coming out. And apparently there's this documentation. The company is not going to be selling the Apple Watch to walk-in customers. You walk in on the 24th. You're like, hey, I want a watch.
Let me get me one of those.
Give me one of them watches. You're not going to be able to. You will be directed over to a handler.
Slapped in the face.
And the handler will be there to help you try on a watch. And then you'll be directed to a computer to place the order, apparently. Or maybe they'll do it for you, but that's all going to be order. You're not going to be able to walk in and buy one, at least not in the first wave. Maybe in the following subsequent months afterwards. You'll be invited to walk in and buy one. But at first, no walk-in customers. No soup for you. That's just the way that it's going to be. Interesting, I think. Now, okay, I told you about the 5x5 radio. Told you about the Wealthfront. One thing I want to talk about, they're claiming that Meerkat is dying. Boyd Genius Report, a.k.a. BGR.com, says Meerkat is dying and it's taking U.S. tech journalism with it. I just got to read a little bit of this article by Tiro Kuityun. Meerkat has been funded. Now, before Meerkat was funded, we had, I believe his name was Ryan.
Ryan Cooley.
Ryan Cooley, thank you. Ryan Cooley on the show. And Ryan Cooley came on. I wanted to talk, wonderful person, Ryan Cooley. I thought very nice. But I wanted to talk to, I believe the guy's name is Ben, who invented this thing. I said, Ben, come on the show. And he said, well, Ben's traveling and also he's he doesn't really, he's busy. He doesn't really want to be interviewed. And meanwhile, he's doing interviews with literally every single other podcast and website. So that hurt. It cut me deep. But Ryan was on. Wonderful guy. We met Ryan at South by Southwest. He was roaming the streets. And he said, oh, we got some things coming up. Can't talk about it. Got some things. Well, in this article on BGR, they're suggesting that the reason that they rushed to go and get $14 million on last Thursday Money coming in from Jared Leto, Greylock, speaking of Leto, Greylock Partners. On the same day, Twitter launched Periscope. Now, I've used both of these things. I've used Periscope. I've used Meerkat. Periscope, of course, being owned by Twitter and has the benefit of all of Twitter's wonderful integrations, the social graph. Immediately, for me, it's clear Periscope has won. I'm sorry, Meerkat. I'm sorry, Ben, and I'm sorry, Ryan. As of today, and this could change, we know things change, but as of March 30th, 2015, Periscope is the winner. This could change,
For
but
you?
for me, not for you.
No, I agree.
You agree too?
It's fun. I liked Periscope. It
Better. The little hearts, right?
Well, the little hearts are just fun anyway. They're very reminiscent of the hearts on Instagram.
Yes.
And pretty much every other service out
Yeah.
there. But I don't know. It felt more connected to
I
me
agree.
than Meerkat. Meerkat kind of seems like there's like a wall in between you and the people watching.
Mm-hmm.
And Periscope just opens all that up, and I like that.
I like that too. I totally agree with you. So Periscope is out, and it's like, I don't know if it's still there. I'll check while we're doing the show, but it was like the number one app in the App Store
Oh, wow.
on iOS, or at least it was in that position as like number one in noon. Okay, so look, Editor's Choice. I don't know if you can see that. Editor's Choice.
Ah.
They can't see that. You can kind of see the blue in the image, but it is the Editor's Choice app up at the top, and it is also Best New Apps, number one in Best New Apps. And then Meerkat's not really anywhere to be found in there. Well, this article breaks it down and says, in fact, Meerkat was never this hot new app or breakout app, and that these breathless, quote, all those breathless media reports about the hot new app and the breakout app were deeply misleading at best and a cynical legerdemain at worst. Number 523 on the U.S. iPhone download chart right now, or that was at Sunday. Their highest daily ranking was 140 on March 20th. And by then it was already all over the news. But they're saying, and this is a quote from the article, Meerkat's success was the creation of a handful of West Coast tech bloggers who managed to lure major newspapers into covering a phenomenon that did not exist. Well, I definitely think it existed. But I think that it was an unfortunate timing, a very unfortunate timing.
Yeah.
If they had come out with it a few months earlier, it would have been much more successful. If they had come out with it later, after Periscope, it might have been successful.
Before or after.
I think it would have been best if it had been way, way, way before, not days or weeks before. And who knows if it will still even be around for a while. I mean, people are always, I think that like, oh, everyone's using the iOS Messages app. But there are people out there who are using WhatsApp and Telegram and Snapchat and all these other ones. And they're like, people are like, oh, follow me on Snapchat. Like, I thought it was just for messaging. No, it's not. It's a huge, huge thing that people use, and they have got following on there. That they were certainly not first. They're certainly not standard or default. So just because Periscope is Twitter's thing, I actually am concerned that Periscope could stagnate a little bit because Twitter is not one to release lots of updates to their app and add lots of features anymore. They used to be. But now what they have is like, we have this thing. This is how it works. Look at Vine. Didn't Twitter start Vine also, Hattie? Aren't they behind Vine?
Oh, man. I don't remember
I
that.
thought they were Vine.
I don't think so.
The same. Check it out.
Fine.
Maybe I'm wrong, but check it out. I thought Twitter owned Vine. Maybe I'm wrong. While she looks that up, this is a really cool story. Y'all remember? So you can hear I'm in Texas
You switched
space
over.
now.
Very
Like
proud of you.
Like something like y'all now. Like that's the first thing I think of. Y'all remember Half-Life 2, right? When it came out in 2004, which seems like last night. It was amazing. Well, apparently, this looks dated compared to modern PC games. There's a Romanian modder, Filip Victor, who is going to be releasing the final version of he built this all on his own. It's a massive Source engine-powered graphical update for the game. It'll be for free, and it'll be released on Steam, and it comes out, or it just came out, I think, on the 27th, so at the end of last week. But I missed this last week. he has given a comparison trailer and a detailed PDF brochure that shows Half-Life 2 Update, which is what he calls it. And basically what he's done is he's added all these graphical improvements like high dynamic range lighting, improved fog and particle effects, reflections, better water rendering, really, really cool stuff. And he's fixed a whole bunch of bugs apparently that were in there. And there's even a fan commentary from a number of high-profile YouTube personalities who love this game. And he's been working on this by himself for more than 4 years, over 250,000 downloads of the work in progress. And the final version is a standalone release. You still have to own, but you don't have to install, but you have to own the original game before you get this update. And he may do more. But right now, if you like the Half-Life franchise, this is going to be your best bet because there's not going to be a Half-Life 3 as far as I'm concerned. But in this video that I'm playing right now for the video viewers, it's showing side-by-side comparisons between the two, the original version and then his updated version. And it does look very, very nice. No arguing that. And it certainly wasn't something that needed to be updated. I don't think anyone would look at the old. I don't know. Do you ever feel that way, like Addie? Like you're always playing your PlayStation 1 game, the Harry Potter game. Like it's hard to get.
But Harry Potter,
you
just
won't
love
stop
it. You
playing
collect
it.
the beans. Collect all the beans.
Yeah.
I love that game. It's fun.
It's not like it looks so dated to you that you said, I'm not going to play that.
No, I think,
there's a lot of charm to
a
the
game
older
can be
games.
fun and not have the best graphics.
I totally
like
agree.
I don't know.
But
I'm not picky.
These look great.
I would get this simply for the graphics instead of like, oh, Harry Potter game.
Right.
But
Well,
I
anyway,
love Harry Potter anyway.
if you like Half-Life, this is the best thing you're going to be. The last thing I'll tell you about before we jump into our spoiler section. The gold Apple Watch edition comes with what they're saying at Ars Technica, a buying experience worthy of the 1%. It'll be sold via 1-hour private sessions and then 2 years of 24/7 support. 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Well, you're going to be spending more than $10,000. So but here's what they say. Once you've bought your 5-figure smartwatch, you can elect to have it set up in the store, or you can take it home and go through a virtual personal setup video chat with an employee. It's going to be available to stainless steel Apple Watch wearers, but only edition buyers will get an exclusive dedicated Apple Watch edition phone line for 2 years
Like
of
Ryan,
24.
like Ryan Bingham in Up in the
like
Air.
Ryan Bingham.
Hello, Mr. Bingham.
Yeah, you
How
call
did
up
you know it was me?
and it's and they're like, "Oh, hello. You ready to set up your watch? You need help?"
I like that.
Available for pre-order on April 10th. And then you can, this is the interesting thing, after April 10th, you can go to the Apple Store and try the watches on. After you've already bought your watch, or if you're thinking about buying it, you can go and try them on at those little stations, but you can't buy one even on the 24th.
You just have to
can't buy
wait
one.
for yours to come in.
That's right.
Meh.
Do you want to get yours shipped to you, or do you want to go pick it up in the Apple Store, wait in the line?
If I was getting a watch,
When you're getting your watch, yeah.
I'm getting a watch,
If you get one.
I would go to the store because I want the whole experience. I want
Okay.
the whole thing. I
Right.
think that would be fun
Maybe that's what we should do then.
if I'm getting a watch.
Oh, if I'm getting a watch. Our second and final sponsor is Lynda, lynda.com, lynda.com, the online learning platform with over 3,000 on-demand video courses to help you strengthen your business, technology, and creative skills. You're going to get a free 10-day trial if you use the URL Lynda, L-Y-N-D-A, lynda.com/DBH. Lynda. How I love you, Lynda. Lynda is amazing. You can learn everything. Hattie has been learning negotiation tactics. You can also go there and learn Photoshop skills. You can learn Excel. You can learn GTD. You can learn topography. You can learn foundations of color, photography, Ruby. How is it possible? Well, Lynda goes to the people who know the most about these particular topics and so many more, 3,000 more. And they bring them on and they say, look, go do the video that you wish you had when you were first starting out. Teach the people, lead the people, be the people. Lynda.com. Experts, passionate about teaching. They're all there. You can download it to iOS or Android. Watch it on your computer. search for an answer, skip right to that point in the video. Genius. So go to lynda.com/DBH, support the show, and get a free 10-day trial where you can use all 3,000 videos, watch them over and over and over and over and over again. Learn something. Thank you very much to Linda. Hattie's just handed me this bulletin. Breaking news, Meta CDN.
You don't have to do that right now.
Oh,
I just
okay.
put
I
that
thought,
there for later.
You know, this looked like breaking. Look, if you're doing like a Newsy show and someone hands you
Well, it should
a
be like a
paper
red sheet of
with
paper or
like
something.
a highlighted thing in yellow.
No, I just interrupt you. It'd be like
then
breaking
that's
news.
breaking news. Where's AF Waller when I need him?
He's here. He's been tweeting you
Jerk.
something about.
He's breaking news. Why aren't you breaking news for me?
I am breaking news.
What news are you breaking? Meta CDN?
None right now.
Well, what's he breaking?
He said, Saudi
See, he's breaking news.
Aramco may be worth as much as $7 trillion. Apple's market cap is only around $700 billion.
Oh, okay. So it's not the most
Right.
richy company ever. All right. Well, I guess I'm wrong. But you know what I meant. He says he's Breaking Bad. And he says Vine is Twitter.
Vine, that was my update.
Vine is Twitter.
Vine was bought by Twitter. They did not start it.
Well,
There's a
yeah, but
difference.
well, okay,
Now
yes,
it's
a technical difference, but that's a
But
technicality
like,
you're
if
trying to
I
get
was
me
the
on.
developer,
trying to
I would say, no, Vine is ours. We sold it.
But if he
Twitter
still works at
did
Twitter,
not-
then he still invented it and Twitter
Do they
invented
work
it.
at Twitter?
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe
No,
that.
they work at Twitter. They're all Twittered up.
I didn't see that.
It's so true. It's true. Anyway, you can correct me on Twitter. I'm at Dan Benjamin. And now I think, Hattie, I'm ready to talk about Interstellar.
Yeah.
So just to get this out of the way, our friends over at Meta CDN provide this beautiful stream. And we're coming out with a Dan Benjamin hour, what? Well, marker?
Please. I'm going to have to go
All right.
search
That's
through
fine.
there.
I didn't do the other marker for the last spot. So you have to find that one on your own.
Poor Maggie.
Meta CDN is how we stream this video. And the new app, the new iOS app, it's going to be for Dan Benjamin Hour, but we're also going to have this new version of the app for other shows. A lot of other shows. This one will have not only the audio stream that we create, but the video stream that we serve to you over Meta CDN. It'll be embedded right in the app. So if you want to watch on your iPhone or iPad, you'll be able to do that just like you do on your website, on danbenjamin.com/live. Be able to watch it there too. Meta CDN behind all of this, bringing you the crystal clear, super fast, crisp HD video, low latency streaming, and so much more. I love Meta CDN. You know, like you buy credits, and the credits determine how many people can watch, how many streams you can provide, but they roll over to the next month. Supports mobile phone stuff, detailed analytics, video on demand hosting. You can serve pre-recorded videos through their CDN. They do tons of CDN stuff, obviously, with a name like Meta CDN. They're pros. MetaCDN.com/5x5. And you use the code 5x5 and you'll get a 10% discount for life. So thanks very much to them. Really do appreciate that. Great service. Or hey, listen to this. It's time to talk about Interstellar. If you haven't seen Interstellar and you're planning on seeing Interstellar, then you might want to skip this because there might be some spoiler stuff. But I don't think we're going to spoil a lot of it. It's going to be a quick conversation about the movie in general. But I will sound a sub-spoiler horn if we really are going to bust something up here. Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to spoil it. We're going to spoil it all. We're going to spoil it all. So if you don't want to hear anything about it, thanks for tuning in.
We'll make sure to keep the end of
show
the
notes
show
at
short.
5x5.tv/dbh/18, and we will be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central with Jeff Veen. And more, and other people.
Mm-hmm.
Liz
and Sarah.
Liz and Sarah. They're going to have to follow Jeff Veen, too. Got their work cut out for them. So thanks, everybody. Now, time to talk about Interstellar. Go away if you do not want the movie ruined. Interstellar. I have an article open here on Entertainment Weekly called 15 Maddening Interstellar Plot Holes. How do you like this movie?
Did. I was entertained by it.
Now, you do like a certain man named Matthew McConaughey. You're a big fan of his work.
I'm a fan. I wouldn't go see a movie because he's in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that true?
It is true.
But you loved this movie. You happen to love Dallas Buyers Club. You happen to love the Woody Harrelson show.
I
Seems like coincidentally everything he's ever been in is your favorite thing.
no, I
Just
think
coincidentally.
no. Well, it's not my favorite stuff. I enjoyed Dallas Buyers Club. I thought it was a good movie. I did love True Detective, but not because he was in it, more because of the show.
Yeah, no, of course.
Um,
Nothing to do with him being in it.
I don't know why you think
No, I don't know why I would
he's
think that.
from here or lives here.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Also a coincidence. It's
but-
not like you lived 3 doors down from him and used to sit in front of his yard every single day.
Right. I forgot I did that. No, I liked this movie. I thought it was entertaining. And I feel like there are two kinds of people that watch movies. There are people that are just like, take me away from everyday life. I just want to be entertained. I'm just watching a movie to hear about a story, you know?
Sure.
And there are other people that like to pick apart films and be like, well, that's not possible. You know, if something's not possible to the point that it's disruptive to
Sure.
the movie,
Mhm.
then I can understand that. But if you're like going after that wouldn't actually happen in a space shuttle kind of thing,
Mm.
then I start to, because the whole thing's a story. It's not, I don't know. That's my take on it.
Okay.
I like movies and I enjoy them and I take them at story face value.
Mhm. The funny thing is, it's not like I even had that much problem with the
No, I know you didn't.
science or anything of this movie. I felt like there were so many little things wrong with it.
I would like to hear them.
Well, I was making a list, and then after I started making this list, I started thinking, you know what? There's probably a much better list that's more comprehensive than the 3 things I've come up with. And in fact, Entertainment Weekly's is I would go so far as to say definitive.
I do like this list. I enjoyed the movie, but I can totally 100% agree with pretty much everything that they say.
Now, before we jump into this, I would like to say that I thought the acting was great. Matthew McConaughey, I think I like him almost as much as you do.
Yeah, the acting
which
was
is
great.
to say a lot.
McConaughey
I mean,
was great.
clearly you would
I
say
loved
that.
the daughter character. She was great.
What's her name? Marty? Murphy?
Murph. And I love the cinematography. The colors were gorgeous.
Totally
in
agree.
it. And the effects were great in it too. So, just as a movie,
Beautiful
Yeah.
movie, outstanding movie. Someone said to me on Twitter, Dan, you've done yourself a disservice by not seeing it properly in an IMAX experience in an amazing theater. Be that as it may, I also never saw The Godfather in the theater, and I think it stands not only the test of time, but the test of time as one of the greatest movies of all time, and perhaps that ever will be made. Godfather.
right? Also,
And I saw that on the first time, a very small, it might have even been a black and white TV. I don't know. It was a long, long, long time ago when I first saw that. It gripped me then. It was an amazing film. It continues to be an amazing film, regardless of whether or not it was shown in the proper, if you have to,
that's
okay,
why I said I don't think it should be
if you
contingent
have to
on.
see a movie
Yeah.
in an IMAX theater for it to be good, I'm not saying it wouldn't improve the experience. I'm sure it would have improved the
Right,
the
like
whole
of course
experience.
I want to see like IMAX movies in IMAX.
Right,
Like yes,
of
I
course.
understand that.
But there are plenty of beautiful movies that I didn't see on the big screen in the right way with the right kind of popcorn that still were an amazing experience, an amazing movie. So maybe I did myself a disservice, but that doesn't save the movie for me. And I know if I had seen it on a very big screen, that I would still have found the same plot holes. I didn't say I didn't enjoy it watching it, but I didn't think it was great.
I would like to hear more about the things that bothered you.
I felt like the whole first part of the movie was somewhat contrived and I felt rushed through it. I didn't find that I cared very much about any of the individual characters. I
can totally understand that.
I felt very rushed. Very rushed through it. All of a sudden,
For me,
Yeah.
one problem I had, I guess, if I can interrupt you,
No, go ahead.
was, they keep talking about, oh, the Earth doesn't have any food or, very little food. Everyone just kind of seemed like they were going about their regular day. Like no one seemed completely like they were freaking out.
Yeah.
I didn't understand the whole dust.
It was a dust storm.
Yeah, but they
Just
seemed
like-
more metaphorical or maybe they did that just to show later with the Morse code, like, did they just create the dust storms just for that?
Just for the
Because
Morse
they wouldn't be
code.
like, there's dust one day. I don't.
Well,
I
I
don't
think
know.
there's a references, of course, to like a second Dust Bowl, which you may have learned about in history. A
I
lot of
did.
people have
Yes.
learned about that. That essentially we've screwed up the environment so much. There was a hint that there have been sort of wars and other things going on, but that we still have corn. We still got corn, so we're all right. I saw them eating a lot of non-corn food at the
Yeah.
table a lot, and I thought animals and other things needed more than just corn to survive. Maybe not.
Right. It just didn't seem like a totally dire situation that they were making it out to be. And
Well, it was definitely more of a personal story. It was a story about love and all of that, which is important, but I would have liked a little bit of a more of a global, and there's that thing they
the
do at the
NASA
beginning of,
part bothered me too, but we'll get to that.
oh, we'll get to that. The whole concept of like showing a movie and like as you begin the movie, there's a little shot of the TV that you slowly zoom in on, showing different news clips. Today the thing was announced or whatever, and North America is the third nation to join in the war against the zombies or whatever it is. As
Right.
you slowly zoom into the thing, they avoided all of that, which I did appreciate. But okay, so let's jump in. This Entertainment Weekly list is very definitive. Let me jump in. I think I'm getting my kid's cold. MJ's
You think
cold.
so?
I named her after MJ from Spider-Man.
I know you did.
Number one, I don't want to read all of these,
We
but
can touch on the larger
the
ones.
the larger ones. Okay, yeah. Here's a good one. Cooper,
The main character.
Matthew McConaughey, gives his daughter. Okay, wait. No, this isn't even a good one. Okay, yeah, this is a good one. Gives his daughter Murph a soothing explanation of the origin of Murphy's Law. This isn't actually true. The term means pretty much what you thought it meant. If anything can go wrong, it will. And he says, for instance, your dad taking off for 80 years, leaving you behind to eat corn with dust sauce. Speaking of, Cooper shows up randomly at NASA, and suddenly he's piloting the craft. If he's so ideal for this incredibly important Earth-saving mission that's just about to happen, and even knows the professor and is just a Jay's drive away, you would think they might have already known he was working the farm down the street and reached out to him. Did NASA not have a pilot before he showed up?
That was one of the things where,
Seemed-
he was like, yes, he could have found like the coordinates. Yes, he could have driven to this place that was rather near. Yes, it could have been NASA. But the fact that it was like, oh, also that dude at the table, I know you. And also, do you think you might have time to fly a ship to space
Yeah.
for us?
Like, why wouldn't they have gone to ask
Because I
him?
know you, and you know what? You're the best person that I know to do this job, but we just didn't want to bother you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's like you're going to work with somebody for years. You know them for years. And you know that they're living down the street, and you need someone with only they in the whole world now have the qualifications for it.
And you're
Like, you're gonna
running a
call him
secret
up.
thing. Like,
Call him up.
yeah.
No, we'll wait, and maybe he'll mystically show up here. Just that one
Just
thing
fate.
from
Maybe.
love. Okay, hold on. There's another good one here. Okay, number 6. So you can receive depressing videos from your loved ones about how you're a crappy father on the other side of the galaxy and through a wormhole, but nobody could send Earth back any detailed information about the habitability of the prospective planets that mankind is depending on. And would Murph really continue being so angry with her dad for participating in the Save the Humanity project when she's spending her life devoted to the exact same project?
Yeah, that was interesting.
And this is the part for me. We can stop right with this one. Romilly, played by David Gyasi, who waited 23 years for Cooper and Brand to get back to the ship, not totally insane. He took a couple sleep breaks, but clearly spent well over a decade alone. Wouldn't he be collecting jars of his urine and wearing tissue boxes on his feet by now, instead of looking like a dad who's mildly perturbed at his kids for staying out too late? Why not, after finishing his complex math homework, didn't he just stay in the sleep chamber and trust Cooper and Brand to eventually wake him up rather than remaining for years, roaming around the ship, looking out the window, waiting for the headlights of their returning shuttle? Romilly is the most tragic character in this movie. Murph lives a long life and has a ton of distractions to keep her occupied, such as her grouchy brother Michael Caine, a surprised Topher Grace, and a meaningful job. Yet we're supposed to feel really sorry for her. But Romilly waits around for 23 years in space, bored out of his mind, somehow manages to keep his wits together, only to get blown up by sad Matt Damon.
Sad Matt Damon.
From Romilly's perspective, this movie was a total tragedy. And it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand that either. At least Matt Damon has enough sense to go get in the chamber and sleep in there till someone comes to get him.
Yeah.
I mean, why would this guy just be wandering around up there? It made no sense to me. The minute I saw
He
it,
was
he's
like, I slept a little bit.
he's
I'm
got,
like,
I took a couple sleep breaks. I'm like, no, dude, like get in the
23
chamber.
years. Like if you're like, it's been 3 years, I took a couple sleep breaks, or it's been a year, I took a couple sleep breaks. Okay, totally understandable. But like 23 years. Also, he didn't. I mean, I know that the aging process is a little bit slower. I guess he didn't look. He like had a little bit of pepper in his hair.
Aged. He had aged. He was a young man at the beginning of the film.
I'd have to
Handsome.
rewatch.
Well, anyway, I just, and he lost most of his hair.
Well, if
I'll tell you what,
Murph,
if this building was empty, and no other living human beings were going to come, and I'm stuck in this building,
and you have the option,
and I couldn't, and all the windows are closed. It's just me by myself in here, and I look out,
no sounds or anything because you're in space,
and I look out, and the only thing that I see is space, just the empty sky.
Right, you can't even watch anything going on. Like, I'm going to watch
the traffic. Right, there's no TV.
No.
There's no books to read.
Nope. Games to play, food to eat.
If you gave me every single book in the whole universe, every book, every TV show and movie that's ever been made, then you locked me up in essentially the size of a room.
And you said, you may not know how long you'll be in here.
In this darkness of space.
But it will be years. At least 10.
Right. And they said someone could come back tomorrow or they could come back in 23 years. No idea. No idea. I think I'd watch 1-2 movies and I'd go right in that sleep chamber and put a little note on it that says, wake me up, dude. I'm in here.
Right.
Why not just stay sleeping? And then the other thing you could do if you're worried about them not finding you, just go to sleep for a year at a time. It seemed like you could go in and out of that chamber easily.
Right.
There was no big deal about going in and out of that chamber.
Right, because he said I didn't even set an alarm at one point or whatever.
Right. And like they wouldn't even say goodbye to the other person. It wouldn't be like, all right, see you on the flip side, dude. It's like you'd go, they lay down in the chamber and unceremoniously the thing would close, it'd be gone. Then they come back up, it's like nothing. It's not even a nap. It's not even a nap.
Yeah.
It's like you close your eyes, open your eyes. Now, okay, where were we? Oh, we were talking about this thing.
Right.
I just go in there for 20 years at a time. Wake up once every 20 years.
My other question was like, if Murph and Cooper's connection was so strong and their love was so strong, then why did she hold a grudge for so long?
No, they address that in here, but you're right.
Continue.
Speaking of which, let's talk for a minute about Damon's character, Dr. Mann. Get it? Man's greatest enemy is man. The Waterworld planet was a man versus nature challenge, and the Hoth planet was a man versus man challenge. Does anybody else get the impression if man just would have opened with, sorry about the pings, I'm crazy lonely and going nuts, the other astronauts would have thought he was super unprofessional, but still let him tag along to the next planet? And how come, with a few scientists, a couple incredible robots, and a spaceship flying around, Cooper's team couldn't tell anything about the planet's inhospitable conditions without trekking out to a glacier? And how would seeing that one glacier really tell you anything about the rest of the planet? Like with the videos from Earth device, the answer seems to be technology in Interstellar only works as much as the plot needs it to work, which is true in all movies, particularly sci-fi films, but it's not supposed to feel like it. There's also this good...
The robot ones was good,
Oh,
too.
the robot one is good. I'll do this one more. If aliens, future humans, wanted to save us, couldn't they have simply given the professor the secret equation, especially if the solution is apparently simple enough to be delivered by Morse code? Or perhaps give humanity a way to grow some food, rather than orchestrating a spectacularly protracted and complicated mass starvation family melodrama mind F. Cooper was almost killed a dozen ways before he gets into the Tesseract. It just seems like a really lousy plan. And that's a good point, too.
Yep.
Where is the robot when Cooper is in the library den of the Fifth Dimension Tesseract? Because he's talking to it, but the robot doesn't appear to be in the same place. And what sort of radio works inside a black hole anyway? I guess the answer is because the Fifth Dimension makes everything everything. And here's the one you liked. What's on the bottom of the robot's legs exactly? Are there wheels? Wouldn't it be scraping along crazily against everything with those big square metal ends?
Well, yes.
At the very least,
everywhere,
making a lot more noise. Still, I want one of those robots. The robots were rad.
I was thinking, why didn't they send the robots to the planets?
Oh, that one. That's
also
that's
they don't
early
have to
on.
sleep either.
He says, wouldn't it have been way better for Professor Brand to just send the super robots? Sure, we're told the bots can't improvise, but they also don't freak out by being stranded, want to check out planets where their lovers are stationed and make decisions based on getting home in time for their daughter's birthday. Plus, having people on the ship requires more oxygen, food, water, fuel, and ways to watch survivor videos from home that rip your heart out. I mean, it's more interesting to have humans, but yeah, if those robots could do everything, why not send them to take readings?
Right. Like,
Send back a ping if they think it's good, and then they'll give you really good. I loved Tars and Case,
yeah, those were
and I felt
really
bad
cool.
when Kip died.
I know.
I liked Kip the best.
I like when they do the rolling thing where they kind of turn into like a giant asterisk
Yeah.
and just kind of spin and
That was
pinwheel
amazing.
across. I like that.
Those were real, with the exception of when they did that spinning thing.
Right.
They were real the whole time. They were made out of stainless steel, and they were operated more like a puppet, if you will, and moved around that way. Even when it was spinning in the water at that one point, that was attached to an ATV vehicle. Obviously, when they showed them transforming and rolling and things like that had to be CGI, they would use it, but the rest of the time, it was real. This just goes on and on and on. And the last one I'll read, and then we'll be done. Cooper spends the entire movie trying to get back to his daughter, and his daughter spends the entire movie yearning to be reunited with him. He spends 2 minutes with her, and then they both agree he should split to go have presumed only guy on the planet sex with Brand.
That was very strange.
Like, she was there for like 10 seconds.
Right. She was like, oh, I'm waking up. And then she's like, Dad. And he's like, daughter. And then she's like, well, I got my family, so see you later.
Right.
And
We
he was
don't need
like,
to spend
sounds
any
good.
time.
Bye. And then he like went up and fixed a robot and then like sat on a porch. I'm like, you've waited how many years now?
Yeah, he's like hanging out with the robot.
I'm like,
And
that's
the robot's
weird.
cool. I'd hang out with the robot.
I mean, I'd hang out the robot, but not like after hundreds of years of trying to find my long lost daughter.
The thing about the robot.
And my other question was about the brother. Where did he go?
Yeah, right. Where did the brother go? Who knows? Who knows? There's so many questions that I have. But who knows? I don't know. Now I'm getting upset again. So I don't want to get upset. I mean, it's not like it wasn't worth seeing, but also the movie seemed to just go on and on and on and on.
Yeah, there
was
were
it ever
some
going to end?
There were some times where I'm like, okay, let's speed up a little bit. I don't need this part of the story.
Anything that had to do with the shuttles and landing and launching and the whole scene with the water planet was very exciting and fun.
Yeah, I liked that. I'm trying
Just
to
a lot of
think.
just a
There were
lot of
little
the movie that
things.
could have gone away.
Just kind of sped up.
I'm not going to go so far as to be like a thumbs down for the movie because it was an entertaining movie.
Okay, out of 5 stars, how much do you give it?
It's a 5-star rating.
No. If you're given 5 stars, how many stars would you give it?
I would use a 20-star scale with 18 different vectors
Oh my gosh.
to identify different qualities of a movie for
Then how
perfect
about
viewing
this
rating.
percent? You know how Rotten Tomatoes does like a percent.
But if you want it in stars, I can do that. I can convert my
I'll
rating
give you
to
both a
stars.
stars and a percentage.
Well, I don't understand the percentage because I don't know all the vectors. But
don't
I will
know.
give you
You
stars.
just make up how much you like it.
Okay. Give me an example of what is a 1-star movie that you and I have both seen for sure, 100% both seen.
Oh man.
What is a 1-star movie that we've both seen? Dead Air.
I know. I'm thinking. I don't.
What's a 5-star movie that we've both seen?
Whiplash.
Whiplash.
5 star.
That's for you a 5-star movie.
Love it. It was
Okay.
Awesome.
I would give Whiplash 4 stars.
But see, you're much more critical than I am.
Yeah.
1 star. I don't know. You think of a 1 star.
What was you? I know you've recently seen Aliens. What is Aliens? Dead Air.
I know. I'm thinking. Maybe a 4.
That's a 4 for you.
Yeah.
What about Alien?
3.
3-star. What about Donnie Darko?
See, that one's hard because I feel like I haven't thought about it enough.
Okay. I'm just trying to gauge
But like a 2.
Big Lebowski.
4.
All right. And Whiplash for you is
5.
a 5-star movie. Okay, I'd put Whiplash at a 4. I'd put Interstellar at a 3.5.
So Yeah. Okay.
That's where I put it. If visual effects, I could go a little higher and go to a 4.
I think Interstellar for me, probably maybe a 3.
Oh.
3.
See, I liked it better than you, apparently.
I guess so.
But apparently before you loved it.
I like it a lot, but
And
like,
Matthew.
there's so many other movies that I would watch before it, I think.
Are there, just just to kind of skew the bias,
Yes.
are there any Matthew McConaughey movies you've seen that you wouldn't give a 3 or 4 star rating? Like, does he bring something to the movie?
Okay, one movie that I saw that had him in it that I would, not a good movie, was Magic Mike.
I haven't even heard of
It's
that.
the male stripper movie.
Can I pass on that one?
You can pass. Yeah.
All right.
You don't have to see that.
Pass. Polite pass.
That's like a 1 or 2.
All right. Well, that's it. That's all we've got for today. Tomorrow, Jeff Veen. Jeff Veen.
Yep.
And one last little bit note where I remember when I was talking about not doing a Friday show, I'm going to be doing a Friday show. I'll tell you why. I've been researching the numbers of the Friday shows, and they are significantly higher. The numbers of downloads of the Friday shows, significantly higher, both in audio downloads and video views, than any other day of the week. And watching that over the last 2 or 3 weeks has really helped me determine that you guys really do enjoy the Friday shows, and that maybe you're watching more of those than you do the rest of the show. So what I'm actually doing is flip-flopping that. Friday is going to be the big show, the big, amazing show. The other shows will also be amazing, but Friday will be the big, 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 amazing show. So never fear, it'll stay. And the last thing is we have an intern now who's good at the video stuff. So we're going to be doing a lot of Patreon videos to reward our long-suffering Patreon supporters. Some amazing things coming for there. So stay tuned if you're a supporter. Stay tuned for that, patreon.com/5x5. You're going to be getting some great stuff. So thanks to all of you for tuning in today. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Have a good one. Thank you.